Milwaukee. This is today's TMJ4, live at Daybreak.
Happening now, 5 o'clock this morning, following his love. This morning, a close watch on former President George H.W. Bush. He's in the hospital just days after burying his wife, Barbara.
And then coming up later this morning, focus on Madison. This is a live picture from Madison right now. Next generation technology here today. The driverless shuttle that will be getting free rides to the public in Madison this afternoon. Also, pack a straw before going out to eat, why more and more restaurants are barring them from their establishments.
Taking a look outside at a minute after 5 now. And nice conditions on the south side of Milwaukee. Check out the airport this morning. Temperatures in the mid to upper 40s to get started, and another nice day on the way. Welcome once again to Live at Daybreak on today's TMJ4. I'm Vince Vitrano.
And I'm Susan Kim. So let's get a check of your weather and traffic together as we get started on this Tuesday morning. And Brian, it's just, we're getting used to the sunshine now, finally, huh?
Yeah, and then the warmer temperatures, too. It sure is nice not to hop in your car this morning and have to turn the heater on full blast. Again, temperatures are well into the 40s. We got some clouds overhead this morning. We're right on the outer fringe of a storm system here where you can see some showers to the southeast of us. The bulk of this is going to stay to the southeast, but we can't rule out one of these stray little sprinkles or light showers enter southeastern Wisconsin this morning. So don't be surprised to see a couple raindrops across the area. Temperatures are in the 40s, looking good. 46 down in Lake Geneva. Here's your day planner. By 8 o'clock, a sprinkle, 48 degrees. By noon, partly cloudy, back up to 60. And by 3 o'clock, a slight chance of a shower popping up with a temperature of 58 degrees. Now, again, heading into tomorrow gets a little bit cooler, and then we got another chance of some showers down the road. We'll tell you when coming up. Over to you, Elise, at the live desk.
All right, thanks, Brian. I'm Elise Preston at the live desk. Former President George H.W. Bush in a Houston hospital this morning. The 93-year-old is battling an infection that spread to his blood. Now, this happening just a few days after attending the funeral of his late wife, Barbara, who died last Tuesday. At last check, the former president was reportedly responding to treatment and recovering. But this morning, his spokesperson has not released an update on his condition. The 93-year-old battles Parkinson's disease and has been hospitalized several times in recent years for respiratory problems.
Today may be the day we learn the identity of the person who was badly burned on the interstate in Racine County. This accident happened on Friday. Authorities are linking the car involved in this fatal crash on I-94 to a suspicious death in Illinois. The body of 24-year-old Destiny Taloxi was found in Rockford, and she was the registered owner of the car that burned in Wisconsin. Now, the driver was alone in the vehicle and died at the scene. Authorities say now the driver is a person of interest in Taloxi's death.
Happening now, police looking for 4 people who deserted a stolen car after a chase. The chase began in Greenfield, 92nd and Forest Home last night. Police attempted a traffic stop. 5 people ran from the car after it became disabled. 1 was arrested. The car was reported stolen out of Milwaukee. A 10-year-old cold case in Fond du Lac County has gotten new life. The sheriff's office there just released sketches of a Jane Doe whose remains were discovered by hunters back in 2008. Later this week, scientists will exhume the remains to use a new forensic testing on the bones. They hope it will lead them to more details about the woman, including where even she's from. They're not sure that this victim is even from Wisconsin.
Happening today, Milwaukee County Sheriff Richard Schmidt will announce that he will be running for a full term. Sheriff David Clark resigned back in September, so Schmidt has been serving out the remainder of Clark's term. Schmidt has said, quote, Milwaukee County can be assured I have hit the ground running, and there is no learning curve to accomplish what needs to be done, end quote. The primary election is coming up in August.
New this morning, it's moving day in Kenosha County, where the old Bristol Town Hall will be actually physically moved to a new location.
And so that building is more than a century old, and it's an effort to preserve all that history that is there. Our Sean Gallagher joins us live now from Kenosha County with a look ahead to today. And Sean, tell us about moving an actual building.
I wish I had the expertise for it, Susan, but this building, it's about 150 years old. It was built in 1870, and thanks to donations and the Bristol Historical Society, it'll be moving from its location here at Bristol Woods County Park closer to the city, all in an effort to help preserve some of the history. Now, the move is going to cost an estimated $77,000. They'll also be changing the name to Davidson Hall, thanks in large part to the support of John and Shirley Davidson. Now, the building will travel from its current location to Highway 45, then north to 84th Street, and east to its new home on 198th Avenue at Fireman's Park. Highway C will be closed between Highway MB and Highway 45 from 8:30 to 11 today, and there are anticipated closures on Highway 45 between 10 and 2. Now, the electric will be interrupted to the grade school and a lift station here in town for a short time today, but no one else expected to be affected by these outages. But they encourage everyone to come out and watch this building go on the move. In Kenosha County, Sean Gallagher, today's TMJ4.
Should be an experience, Sean. Thanks. It's 5:06. More news now. 2017 ended with Dove having to defend itself over this ad showing a black woman taking off her shirt to reveal a white woman. Well, after major backlash, that commercial was quickly pulled. So now some women in Milwaukee are expecting a similar response, this time from cosmetics company L'Oreal, over what they're calling a glaring error in judgment. So this ad here was spotted in a local drugstore and then shared on social media. It features 3 famous actresses, but only one has her face covered. L'Oreal responded to the criticism, saying the company always photographs spokespeople with the product applied and that each spokeswoman is wearing a different product in this ad. A new movement among Milwaukee restaurants leaving something off the table these days: straws. And the reason? A lot of plastic ends up in oceans and lakes. On Thursday, let's take you back. This was the garbage that washed ashore where the waves were high along Lake Michigan. And so places like Garage and Hi Hat Lounge are in the process of cutting out those plastic straws. They will be joining a long list of local restaurants that have either dropped them altogether or switched to paper straws.
It's 5:07. Check it out. The Bucks back in Boston and looking to take control of the opening round playoff series. Right now, we're tied at 2 apiece, heading into Game 5 against the Celtics. Tip-off set for 6 o'clock our time tonight. Bel Air Cantina has received a lot of flack for basically not quickly seeding Bucks superstar Giannis Antetokounmpo after that win in Game 4. Here's what Giannis had to say about all of this.
It wasn't a big deal. I've been in the restaurant a lot of times, so they're really good people. I know the owners, and I'll be there. I'll be there again.
Still, the whole ordeal prompted Bel Air to release even a surveillance image showing that a manager did in fact greet Giannis and told him initially that there were no tables available right away and what the wait time would be. Bel Air Cantina says Giannis can expect a table waiting for him after Thursday night's game.
So it was one of those things where a lot of people, you will go into a restaurant, they say, hi, it's going to be 10 minutes, a half hour, whatever it is. And so then you make a decision, am I going to stay or go, right? That's what it was. Simple.
It apparently was not much more than that. Coming up next here on Live at Daybreak this morning, going strong, the team celebrating 12 years together.
Oh, who could that be? And then up next, a busy Toronto intersection struck with chaos. And now the man responsible for it will be heading to court, where investigators are and finding out why that man drove through a crowd of people.
And there's a new piece of technology rolling into Madison. Find out all about it coming up.
It's 12 minutes after 5 on today's TMJ4. The man whom police say used his van to kill 10 people and hurt 15 others in Canada is going to be in court today.
So he was arrested less than a half hour after this incident yesterday. People cycled through a memorial all night long. Police say the man drove a rented white van into a crowd in Toronto. Investigators are searching for clues about any motive.
A man accused of opening fire inside a Nashville area Waffle House over the weekend is now behind bars. 29-year-old Travis Reinking accused of gunning down 4 people and injuring 4 others. Officials say Reinking was found carrying a semi-automatic gun and ammunition in his backpack when police spotted him. They were following up on a tip. His bond was set at $2 million. Well, after a rocky year for United Airlines, its CEO plans to give up his annual bonus.
Oscar Munoz told employees, quote, "This sends a message about the culture of accountability and integrity," end quote. United came under fire last April when a passenger was violently dragged off a plane to make space for commuting crew members.
Well, still ahead this morning, everything's better with cake, wouldn't you say? The Oops that will leave you in shock.
Also ahead this morning, Wisconsin is about to make history. This is a live picture from Madison, and in just a few hours, this first driverless vehicle will roam the streets. We'll be live from Madison on more about just how this will all happen.
And we're off to a nice start this morning. Temperatures in the 40s. Right now, 47 in Milwaukee, but there's some clouds overhead, and we might get a few raindrops today. We'll tell you where and when coming up.
New for the first time this morning, not having a driver, no problem.
A driverless shuttle is rolling its way onto the campus of UW-Madison. It will be delivering free rides to the public starting this morning.
And then our Lauren Winfrey is in Madison right now as we look ahead to these driverless shuttle rides happening today. Hi, Lauren.
Hey, good morning, Susan and Vince. Yeah, this is pretty cool. This is Navia. There's no driver, no steering wheel, no pedals. And check it out. Let's go inside. You do have to press a button, though. But that's not a problem. Look how cool this is. This little piece of technology will be transporting students up and down campus over the next 2 days, and this is touted as the future of transportation. Now, this autonomous driverless and electronic shuttle made by the French company Navia can carry 15 people, 11 sitting and 4 standing, and developers say the goal of the electronic shuttle is to bring a greater sense of mobility to cities and private sites by enhancing mobility and reducing the environmental impacts associated with transportation. And if you're wondering why it's here on the campus of UW-Madison, well, this is all a part of the autonomous vehicle research that is happening on the College of Engineering. And the shuttle will start moving at 9 o'clock. That's when the public can come out and grab a ride. It'll be running until 3. You can also do the same tomorrow. And we'll have much more for you throughout the show all about this little thing. Live in Madison, Lauren Winfrey, today's TMJ4.
So, Lauren, how fast does that little bus go?
So I believe it goes about 15 miles per hour. Doesn't seem to go too fast, at least from some of the things that I've seen and when they were out here testing it a little bit. But it appears to be a pretty smooth ride, and you can see how compact it is inside. So it can't carry too many people at once, but it still has enough room to seat, 11 people comfortably and have a few people standing as well.
All right, Lauren Winfrey live in Madison. We'll be checking with her throughout the morning before we get that thing rolling. Thank you, Lauren.
We've been talking about this driverless technology forever, and then to see it actually here in Madison and rolling on down the street.
Yeah, it'll be nice in wintertime in Madison. I'd rather go sit in a nice little heated Navia or whatever they call it.
Instead of driving your Spree?
Yeah. Absolutely. It looks cool, though. Certainly nice to see. All right, check this out. Look at this in Waukesha. We have a temperature this morning starting at 45 degrees. Last week, we would have been begging for a high of 45. Things have changed. Winds out of the west-northwest at 5 miles per hour. Currently in Milwaukee, 47 degrees. Winds out of the east-northeast at 3 miles per hour. Across southeastern Wisconsin, temperatures are in the 40s, looks like for everybody. 45 in Jefferson, 42 in Germantown and Port Washington, and Belgium checking in at 43 degrees. The cold spot Fond du Lac at 39, Ripon at 38. So we're on the outer fringe of a storm system. We got more clouds out there this morning. I'll show you in a second. And the storm system could bring a few rain drops to the area, but minimal rain chances. Springtime temperatures throughout the entire 7-day forecast. Storm 4 Max radar and satellite. There's the cloud layer right across southeastern Wisconsin. A bit of clearing up towards Fond du Lac. That's why you're a bit cooler. But notice a few sprinkles, too. Not too far off. We can't rule out a stray sprinkle this morning. Slight chance of a shower popping up this afternoon. Let's go through our future forecasts here. Future forecast really holds off on any rain chances here. This is 9 o'clock. We are dry, even enjoying a bit of sunshine. 3 o'clock this afternoon. Future forecast not showing any of those showers popping up, but we'll keep a slight chance in the forecast. By 10:30 this evening, a good strong breeze out of the northeast could be sustained around 20 miles per hour. And then tomorrow morning, still a bit breezy, and we'll start the day tomorrow with an area of clouds, and then we'll eventually clear out again tomorrow afternoon. Your forecast for today, a high temperature topping out at 60 degrees. Inland 64, slight chance of showers today. Again, really small chance. Most of us stay dry. 38 for tonight, partly cloudy and breezy. Here's a 7-day. As we head into Wednesday, 50 degrees for your high, partly cloudy, inland 55. Thursday, 60 degrees, mostly sunny. 52 on Friday with a slight chance of showers again. Well, a little bit better than slight. Thursday night into Friday morning. For Saturday, 53, 60 inland, mostly sunny. 64 mostly sunny on Sunday. And all the way up to 71 beautiful degrees next week on Monday. Over to the live desk.
At the live desk, a new national poll out this week giving a glimpse at how Americans view educators' pay. The new poll shows Americans overwhelmingly believe teachers do not make enough money, and half of Americans say they would pay higher taxes to give educators a raise. Now, this according to an Associated Press NORC poll. This comes as many states have seen teacher strikes in recent months. Other states have seen protests over low pay, tough classroom conditions, and the amount of money allocated to public schools. Last school year, the average national salary for a public school teacher was just under $59,000.
All right, Elise, thanks very much.
Well, sometimes accidents happen at work. The best way to ask for forgiveness is through sweets.
Okay, so that's where this cake comes in. It reads, quote, "Sorry I tased you," end quote. So an officer from Hamilton Township Police in Ohio was out on a call when she accidentally deployed her taser on a firefighter. So everyone is okay. The firefighter accepted the apology and the cake.
Sorry I tased you, frowny face.
Sad face, yeah.
Step aside, April, a new star is born. This baby giraffe escaped its enclosure and went on a little adventure. This is the Fort Wayne Children's Zoo. It was her first day to meet the public. After being chased for nearly 2 hours, she actually wandered back into her barn on her own.
Well, she didn't like the crowds, right?
Look, what are they doing? No, back this way. Back that way.
No, she doesn't like all the people. Was looking for some solace.
Well, she just wanted to run around, you know?
Well, she is a little kid, right? That's what kids like.
I'm just going to do it right. What's all the fuss about? 5:22, and coming up next year on Live at Daybreak this morning, the bets are in. What do you think Prince William and Kate will name their new baby boy? We'll tell you the front runner just ahead.
Also, in a couple of months, a beer garden will open on the Summerfest grounds for the first time. And with it, a list of leading acts. We have them coming up. The British are celebrating the birth of a new royal.
The new family of 5 now left the hospital just hours after the birth of their 8-pound, 7-ounce bundle of joy.
But it was perhaps little sister Charlotte who stole the show as she turns around and waves at the cameras heading into the hospital. Celebrations will continue in London today with the ringing of the bells at Westminster Abbey and a gun salute in Hyde Park. No word yet on a name, but the odds favor Arthur, the name of Queen Elizabeth's late father, King George VI. At this point, it isn't a Live at Daybreak show if there isn't some sort of Summerfest announcement to share. And this morning, we have the headliners for the new Clement's Sausage and Beer Garden. It all starts on June 27th with Robin Plower and the R&B Coquettes. Then on June 30th, it's the Ripple Effect. You can check out Wade Fernandez on July 3rd, and then finishing the concert series is the Danny Miller Band on July 8th. All right, well, today, Vince and I are celebrating 12 years of being together on this anchor desk.
Not exactly this desk, as we've gone through a few upgrades over the years. Many memorable stories and events, so Susan and I are very proud to have been a part of that and grateful to all of you for welcoming us into your homes over these years.
12 years is a long time to be sitting next to you.
I imagine it is. 5:27 on today's TMJ4. Coming up, a historic move, an original building being lifted into place in Kenosha County today.
Also, naming rights, the big wait for the new name of the Bucks Arena, when you could see it all coming together. We have more Live at Daybreak coming up next.
Right now, from Milwaukee, this is today's TMJ4, Live at Daybreak.
Now at 5:30, keeping close watch, the information about former President George H.W. Bush's health this morning, just days after the funeral of his wife, Barbara.
And it's a sign of the time, driverless transportation that'll soon be rolling around the campus of Madison.
And the wait is almost over. The new Bucks Arena just weeks from officially having a name. What it won't be called. Just ahead.
And let's take a live look outside as we get going on this Tuesday morning. And we're looking over downtown Milwaukee. And we're going to have another nice day today, although maybe some hiccups. Brian Wisniewski will tell us about those coming up in just a minute. And good morning. You are watching Live at Daybreak on today's TMJ4. I'm Susan Kim.
And I'm Vince Vitrano. We'll start you off with a check of weather and traffic together. Storm Team 4 meteorologist Brian Wisniewski.
Yeah, this morning we have more clouds overhead, but that's keeping our temperatures up. You're going to step outside this morning and you'll notice, hey, this doesn't feel so bad. Temperatures are in the 40s. This is a live look in Port Washington. Getting ready for sunrise. However, those clouds are going to hamper the sunrise. I guess maybe soon we'll start to see a couple boats floating out to Lake Michigan, do a little fishing in the morning. But again, this morning we do have a cloud layer overhead. The clouds are a part of a storm system that are to the southeast of us. We're right on the fringe of this system, and at times we might see a few sprinkles, maybe even a couple popping up down towards Delavan and Lake Geneva. But the bulk of these sprinkles to the southeast of us, and they should remain to the southeast of us. So on the way to work, commuter forecast, chance of sprinkles 50 degrees. On the way home, 58 degrees with a slight chance of showers. I think inland topping out well into the 60s. We even have some 70s down the road. We'll tell you when coming up, Elise.
All right, thanks, Brian. I'm Elise Preston at the live desk. Former President George H.W. Bush in a Houston hospital this morning. The 93-year-old is battling an infection that spread to his blood. This happening just a couple days after attending the funeral of his late wife, Barbara, who died last Tuesday. Now, at last check, the former president was reportedly responding to treatment and recovering, but this morning his spokesperson has not released an update on his condition. The 93-year-old battles Parkinson's disease and has been hospitalized several times in recent years for respiratory problems.
A two-day meeting on Syria begins today. Could be a turning point in the fight to stop the brutal civil war there. That suspected gas attack by the Syrian government is just the latest thing inspiring action. But Russia continues to veto action by the UN Security Council. Well, today's EU and UN joint meeting is going to work to change that. They want to use an uncommon rule to send the issue to the full UN General Assembly.
It's 5:33. President Trump and First Lady Melania will be throwing their first state dinner today ahead of another full day of events at the White House. On day 2 of President Emmanuel Macron's state visit, he will join a joint White House news conference, and then Vice President Mike Pence will host a State Department lunch.
If your air conditioner is more than 8 years old, you'll want to pay close attention. The government is stopping the manufacture of a certain type of Freon. The Environmental Protection Agency reporting R22 contains chlorine that can deplete the ozone when exposed in the air. Our Julia Fellow shares the headaches ahead for some homeowners and businesses that still use these types of chemicals in their systems. That's coming up in our next hour at 6:30. Still on the run this morning, an escaped inmate out of Racine County, Christine Abel, took off last Friday from the Ellsworth Correctional Facility in Union Grove. Apparently a truck that she had stolen was found in Green Bay. Police asking anyone who sees her to call 911.
It's 5:34. We have more news now. Americans are taking a more critical view of big tech companies in the wake of Facebook's data scandal. But one firm still stands above the rest, according to a new poll. SurveyMonkey and Recode found that 20% of people believe Amazon is having the most positive impact on society out of any other major tech giant. Amazon was followed by Google, Apple, and then Facebook. Meanwhile, the TSA is reporting that it screened 72 million passengers during the spring travel season, but lines are looking good. More than 95% of this spring's travelers waited less than 20 minutes to get through security, and almost 93% of pre-check passengers waited less than just 5 minutes.
A nearly 150-year-old building in the village of Bristol is on the move this morning. Bristol Town Hall will be moved and then restored to help preserve that community's history. Sean Gallagher is live with more on how this will all happen. Good morning, Sean.
Yeah, good morning, Vince. This building right here behind me been pretty much vacant, used more as a storage shed over the last few years, but now the Bristol Historical Society and other supporters are hoping it can be restored and used to remember the village's history. Now, the move will make the building more accessible to people here, and the plan is to make it into a local museum of sorts where Bristol's history can be preserved and also serve as a meeting place for local community groups. Now, the building will travel from its current location here to Highway I-45 and then north to 84th Street and east to its new home on 198th Ave at Fireman's Park. The move cost an estimated $77,000, covered in large part by John and Shirley Davidson. As such, the building will be renamed Davidson Hall. Now, electric will be interrupted for the grade school and a lift station in town for a short time, but no one else should be affected. The move scheduled to kick off at 9 a.m. and people encouraged to come along the route. In Bristol, Sean Gallagher, today's TMJ4.
All right, Sean, everybody's waiting to see which company will get the naming rights to the new Bucks Arena, and apparently the Bucks are down to 2 finalists.
Both local companies with an international presence. Rich Kirchen, who is a senior reporter with the Milwaukee Business Journal, says that the team is close to landing a long-awaited sponsor.
I'm thinking Miller, maybe.
Aaron Rodgers is now a part owner. Let's call it the Rodgers Arena.
The Rodgers Arena?
Yeah, yep. I'd say something like a pizza place, perhaps.
So names you will not see on the side of the building: Kohl's, Harley-Davidson, and Northwestern Mutual. An announcement is expected after the playoffs.
Those are the names that are out of the running, right?
That we are reporting are out
Not
of
in
the running,
negotiation.
which I find Northwestern Mutual surprising.
A lot of people were focused on that.
Coming up on Live at Daybreak on today's TMJ4, reconstruction, the bridge getting a facelift in Milwaukee, and the traffic patterns to watch out for this morning.
Getting rid of some electronics, you know, that old stuff collecting dust in your basement. Today's a good day to do it. I'm going to tell you why. More Live at Daybreak just ahead.
And let's take a live look outside. We're checking out the scene over Lake Michigan. A little hazy clouds this morning, but we're going to see sunshine again today. Brian Wisniewski also has a slight chance of showers in his forecast, but boy, does his 7-day look good. We'll have that for you coming up.
At the live desk, we have a traffic alert for you this morning. The Green Tree Bridge starting today. DOT crews will begin reconstructing that Green Tree Bridge in Milwaukee County over I-43. The existing bridge is about 57 years old. Now, over the course of the next few months, the Good Hope Road entrance ramp to I-43 southbound will be closed. Travel lanes will be adjusted to allow for work under the bridge. Later this summer, there will be full freeway closures in the overnight hours. Now, drivers should use Good Hope Road, Green Bay Road, and Silver Spring Drive to connect back with I-43. And let's go ahead and check in on travel times right now. Good Hope to the Zoo, 9 minutes. 7 Mile Road to Mitchell, 8 minutes. Brown Deer to Marquette, 10 minutes.
All right, Elise, thank you. It's 5:41. Drug Take-Back Day is coming up on Saturday. It's across the country. You can take leftover prescription drugs to collection sites at police stations and pharmacies. Unused or expired medication should never be flushed or poured down the drain.
Do you have any old electronics you're trying to get rid of? Milwaukee's VA is holding its annual recycling day today. We can drop off anything from TVs to old stereos. Last year, more than 150,000 pounds of electronics were collected. It's 5:42. Coming up next year on Live at Daybreak this morning. Milwaukee Bucks have booked their first Latin act for the new arena. The headliner just ahead.
And then, need a lift? The exciting ride being offered to the public in Madison today. And it's driverless. How soon the public will be taking those rides.
All right, outside today, we're going to make another run at 60 degrees. We'll go with the high of 60 in Milwaukee and Racine, as much as 66 in Waukesha. And we have some 70s down the road on the 7-day forecast coming up.
It is the ride of the future, and it is in Madison right now.
It's a driverless shuttle, and it'll, they say, make it easier for some college students to get around campus. Lauren Winfrey is live in Madison this morning, giving us our first look. Hi, Lauren.
Hey, good morning, Susan and Vince. Yeah, I'm standing right in front of Navia, and this is the swankiest little shuttle that you ever did see. There's no driver and there's no pedals, but there is a researcher here, Peter Rafferty, with the UW Madison, and he can tell us more about it. Tell us a little bit about Navia, Peter.
Well, good morning. This is a new kind of vehicle that we're really excited to have here in Madison this week, and it's a fully driverless shuttle, and it's ideally suited for a low-speed campus circulator type of application. And it's important to remember that automated vehicles mean a lot of different things depending on what you're talking about. So this really is a big step forward, though, in terms of being a truly driverless vehicle. And what we're doing here this week is having it out so that folks can get on and try it and ask some questions, and we as researchers get a nice opportunity to work on technical and engineering aspects. So there's really two parts to this today.
And Peter, how did you all decide to bring it here to campus?
Well, we've been working in vehicle technologies for a while, and actually about a year and a half ago we got a federal designation as one of 10 automated vehicle proving grounds right here in Madison with the College of Engineering and some partners. So it's a big part of what we do, and we're really here to be asking the hard questions and helping everybody understand what is working really well already. And there are a number of things, but I don't want people to think that we're done. There are plenty of other things to be working out. We want to make sure vehicles like this are really safe in how they interact with pedestrians and bicycles. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Peter. He's here to answer all the questions. And you can, well, if you're in Madison, you can catch a ride at 9 o'clock. That's when the shuttle will start rolling around campus. Live in Madison, Lauren Winfrey, today's TMJ4.
All right, thanks very much, Lauren. And Peter was also saying, too, the more often people see this vehicle around, the more comfortable we can all get, you know, in seeing a driverless car, because on the surface, as we've been talking about, it's kind of like, ooh, driverless car, you know, you love it or hate the idea.
The first group inside that thing is going to be like, I may outdid the second ride. Right.
Who's going to ask the hard-hitting questions if it was going to be stopping at State Street? Brats, a couple of other favorite places.
It's
you
not
were the first.
Pub crawl,
right.
just so you know.
Right. Just goes to academic buildings,
yes.
I think.
Oh, okay. Not one of those pedal tavern type styles. Okay. All right.
That's next.
The next 12 hours here as we head on through the afternoon. We're going to look for temperatures to climb to around 60 degrees again today, lakeside. I think inland well into the 60s. More clouds this morning, some breaks in the clouds this afternoon with a chance, a very, very small chance of a few sprinkles this morning and a slight chance of showers this afternoon. This is a live look in Waukesha. We do have more clouds overhead this morning. Fox River flowing pretty good with all that snow melt. 45 degrees the current temperature in Waukesha. Winds out of the northwest at 3 miles per hour. Milwaukee currently at 47. An east-northeast wind at 3 miles per hour. That wind is going to pick up a little bit today. Across the area, looks like everybody in the 40s except for far north. 45 in Watertown, 45 in New Berlin, but 39 in Fond du Lac and Ripon this morning. All right, the weather headlines: outer fringe of a storm system to the southeast of us, which will give us very minimal rain chances. Most of us staying dry and springtime temperatures. The Storm 4 Max satellite and radar as we look across southeastern Wisconsin. We do have an area of clouds overhead. Some breaks in the clouds, our northwest corner up towards Beaver Dam and Fond du Lac. You're waking up to mainly clear skies now. But also notice a few sprinkles here. And as we widen the view, again, we are on the way outer edge of a strong area of low pressure that's going to bring a lot of rain to, say, the Ohio Valley. For us, again, just a couple sprinkles. Future forecast going through our day today. Future forecast really holds off on any rainfall here. You can see by 4 o'clock, in fact, enjoying a decent amount of sunshine. A few clouds overnight tonight, and to start the day tomorrow morning, this is 10 a.m., and a pretty strong breeze later on tonight and tomorrow as well. And then we start to clear out again tomorrow afternoon. Okay, your forecast for today, we are going to look for a high temperature of 60 degrees, inland 66 degrees with a slight chance of showers for today. Now for tonight, a low temperature of 38 degrees, partly cloudy and breezy. And here's your 7-day forecast as we head on into Wednesday. 50 degrees for your high on Wednesday, inland 55. On Thursday, mostly sunny with a high of 60 degrees. Looking good on Thursday. Friday, a chance of showers in the morning, and then in the afternoon, partly cloudy, 52 degrees for your high on Friday. Saturday, a little bit cooler, but not bad, 53 on Saturday, 60 inland, 64 on Sunday. Beauty of a day there. And look at that, Monday, 71 degrees, mostly sunny on Monday, and we could just be starting a big warm-up where we could be well into the 70s next week. Next week's got a look of summer more to it than spring.
What are you doing over there? My goodness.
We deserve it.
In today's money, if you always deduct mortgage interest on your taxes, you'll need to hear about this. Under the new tax law, 57% fewer people will end up qualifying for the deduction. The change is mostly because the new law almost doubles the standard deduction, and fewer people are expected to then itemize. So if you have to itemize in order to use you do have to itemize in order to use the mortgage break. Only 20% of all taxpayers, though, use that deduction. Just in time for spring gardening, a new and convenient checkout selection at Walmart stores. Shoppers will no longer have to venture inside to pay for items like flowers, mulch, or soil. Associates at select stores will scan items. They can swipe your card right there and provide a receipt on the spot.
Si el ritmo te lleva a mover la cabeza, ya empezamos como es. Mi música no discrimina a nadie, así que
Trending today, J Balvin is bringing some Latin flavor to the new Bucks Arena this fall. The multi-platinum award-winning Colombian superstar will hit the stage on October 1st with tickets going on sale this Friday. It's 5:52, still ahead here on Live at Daybreak on today's TMJ4. We are digging out into the archives. We're going to take a look at our long run here on Live at Daybreak.
Also, Duck, Duck, Goose, the tale behind this viral goose attack.
It is 5:55, and here's a look at some of our top stories that we're working on for 6 o'clock. The new government changes being made and why it could make a popular home appliance possibly too expensive to even use.
Also, budget battle, what some Milwaukee teachers will be doing today to protest proposed cuts at MPS.
And a neighboring state that's now coming with a warning why you'll want to stop at the doctor's office before even visiting. You can see these stories and more coming up in just about 6 minutes.
Sometimes when you're golfing, you get a birdie. Other times, the birdie gets you.
Boy, and that's what happened to a Michigan high school student. This is Isaac Cooling. He was walking down the fairway, as you can see. This was hole number 7 at the course he was at. Came across a goose nest. Look at what happens here. The guarded goose wasn't having any of Isaac being around. The photos shared by Blissfield Athletics with the caption, "Golfer is okay, but his pride was hurt," end quote.
Man, have you ever been on the golf course around geese? Like they start hissing at you?
Poor guy. But look at this.
Digging deep into our archives here at today's TMJ4, dusting off literally tapes of this video of Susan and me from 2006. 12 years ago today, we anchored Live at Daybreak together for the first time officially as a team. I had filled in before.
A couple times, yep.
Just want to say thanks to all of our viewers for letting us share what's making news in Southeast Wisconsin with you every morning.
Of course,
12 years.
We would not be able to be here had it not been for the support of all of our viewers, so thank you very much. Let's take a live look outside at Milwaukee right now. It's 47 degrees, and Live at Daybreak at 6 starts in 3 minutes.